Greetings, viewers. So just the second half of the review of Remedy's wonderful video game Control. And for this, I want to focus on the two things that they got right for the video game. Number one, they got genre right. They invented a new form of storytelling and a new genre to go with that storytelling. And number two, they reinvent the main character, the protagonist. And so there's actually a double revolution that's happening here. So first of all, what did they get right about genre? The long and short of it is this. One of the things that had been holding back Remedy from achieving truly great things was that they were very much wedded to the notion of the shooter. So Max Payne, the greatest shooter ever made, and all of their other games were sort of variations of the shooter as a form. Now this becomes problematic because, to be perfectly honest, after 2008, one of the things that happens is the shooter as a form, it's not just the military shooter, but all forms of the shooter really start to lose credibility. And the reason is we're entering a period of world history without systemic wars. We have much bigger problems to deal with than someone under some bad leader shooting at us. No. That period of history is gone and not coming back. The real enemies of the 21st century are viruses, are carbon dioxide, are pollution, are our own stupidity, are plutocracy and wealth inequality. Those are the real enemies, not other armies. No. We're not going back to that. That's just not credible anymore. And what that means is that stories where you play as a character, as a human with a gun, and you're killing other people just stops feeling good. You just get the sense of, why am I killing my fellow human? This is stupid. Yeah, this is a basic credibility crisis affecting the genre as a whole. So Remedy stopped and thought about what it meant to have the shooter genre and realized, you know what? It's time to let the shooter go. It's time to change our focus. Instead of trying to reinvent the shooter because it's gone and done, let's do something new. And they succeeded by doing something so clever. They borrowed from another genre of video games. They actually borrowed from the open world brawler. Literally, Remedy's video game Control is literally the cosmic horror science fiction version of Yakuza. It's a brawler. That's the core gameplay loop. That's the mechanic. So the basic idea is this. You play, your main character is a young woman named Jessie Faden. We'll talk about her in a second because she's the other great innovation they bring to the table. And you have all these special powers over objects. So you have this relationship where you can actually control objects of power, channel energy, and you can fight off. And what you discover, you enter the Bureau on another quest, and you discover that the Bureau is being taken over by these alien invaders called the Hiss, and it's up to you to set things right. You have to fight back against this and save humanity from this horrible set of monsters who are from another dimension and just want to take everyone over. So what's fun about this is that your powers are not sort of just the shooter powers. Your powers are those of the brawler. So you're given all these special telekinetic abilities, and you can take objects inside of the game world and turn them into weapons, shields, objects, and fight back against the Hiss. Now, the oldest house is the inside of a skyscraper, so you're basically in all these office spaces. And it's enormously fun to just rampage through these office spaces. If you've ever had to suffer through a white-collar job and that kind of the deadening alienation of that, it's like, you'll have so much fun with this because this is sort of releasing that latent experience of antagonism and releasing it in a way, in a kind of a positive and funny, comic kind of way. Because you're not actually harming anyone or destroying anything, but it's this great relief to sort of lay waste these office spaces in the service of something positive and good, of course. You are trying to save humanity. But it's handled really, really well, and there's a lot of droll, tongue-in-cheek humor to a lot of this, and the fact that the office space is now this battlefield. Okay? Now the second thing, I mentioned the first and the second. The second thing is the protagonist they come up with, because that's also related to something very important about what made Max Payne great. Max Payne was great because Max Payne, the NYPD police officer, was an ordinary person. You identified with his struggle. He was this human being. He loses his family. He wants vengeance. You get that. And you want to see justice done. Jessie Faden, another great character. And the great achievement here is Jessie Faden is the first protagonist of a Remedy video game who's a woman. And I can't tell you how thankful us Remedy's fans are. Thank you, Remedy, for finally having a decent female character who is strong, interesting, credible character, fascinating backstory, a great voice actor, by the way. Like, all the voice acting in Control is fantastic, world-class, amazing performances. And the voice acting is also very gestural, so it matches the game world and it has this energy to it that matches, it fits the character perfectly. So you feel empowered when you're playing the game by those lines. That works wonderfully well. So the main thing to understand, what they got right with Jessie Faden is that she's an ordinary working class person. She's not some superhero, she's not super elite, she's not some plutocrat. No, she's this ordinary person who has to step up to save her fellow human being. And that is such a powerful story in this time and age. Literally, Jessie Faden is the first superhero or superheroine of the 8 billion. This is an incredible achievement. Amazing. And it works because she's this very ordinary person who just wants to have basic stuff for people and have people not consumed by these alien monsters and create some basic sanity to the world system. This is an incredible symbol of the women-led and very feminist-minded mass movements for digital democracy happening all across the world. You see this with the Bernie campaign. You see this with the mass movements all across the planet. The protest movements against kleptocracy, against plutocracy, and for digital democracy and for a better and fair and more just world. Remedy hit it out of the park again. Twice in a lifetime. They've done something amazing. And this is just the beginning, because this will be the foundation of a whole franchise. There's really rich storytelling material here, and there's a lot more character development, and there'll be more and additional characters, I'm sure, in the future, but just an extraordinary achievement.